Hey guys, it's Phil coming at you with another video. I know it's been a little while, but I'm back. I'm excited, and yeah, I was just taking a little mental health break. Like I always tell you guys, don't burn out. Don't do things to excess, and make sure it's a maintainable speed. So I do practice what I preach. So that's why you guys haven't really seen a video from me guys in a little while, because I was taking a little bit of break time off to recharge myself, make sure I gave you guys the best version of myself, and didn't just put out random things that I thought would be good for you guys and that they were actually quality for you. So I'm back. I'm excited, and I'm really privileged to be able to help you guys, because I've been getting a lot more like people reaching out to me, a lot more people like saying you've helped me. Really touches me, and I'm blessed to be able to have the influence that I do, and I'm not taking it lightly. So I want to give the best that I possibly can to you guys, and I suggest the same thing to you guys, is to, if you feel yourself getting a little burnt out or unmotivated, take some time for yourself, recharge and recalibrate yourself to give the best version of yourself to other people as well as this exam. So, and again, happy late Mother's Day to the mothers out there. I did a study group on Mother's Day, but I was very touched. A lot of you guys reached out and said, tell your mom happy Mother's Day, and we appreciate you. I told her, she was super like blown away. And it made me like smile too, that I'm helping so many people, that they're recognizing me as well as the people that are important to me, because as you guys know, family is like the number one important thing to me, and without them I wouldn't be here, literally and like figuratively as well. So but since I've uploaded my video, we have had close to 50 people pass. Like, I am so blown away, like blown away. Like, close to 50 people have reached out and was like, you've helped me. Your videos were like one of the most helpful things that I've interacted with. So let me give those people the credit they due. And yeah, I'm blown away. So starting off from the top, Dominique H, LaShonda L, Nicole W, Valencia P, Ilyania M, Genia M, Melanie S, Carrie F, Natalie J, Catherine T, Ruthie B, Madison M, Vicky H, Ashley L, Laura F, Heather C, DeQuinta F, Brian G, Belda J, Megan P, Christine B, Tiffany H, Destiny K, Tammy M, Sarah M, Catherine K, Natalie R, Ellie Mary, Nellie G, KL, Marisa M, Shelly A, Jamia D, Adrian K, Melissa B, LaShonda B, Brandon, Justin M, Joy W, Bastiva B, Ashley M, Katie M, Sarah S, Addie A, Lisa C, Cassandra J, and Adrian F. Holy smokes, guys. I think as we keep going on, I'm going to start losing my breath more and more. But I get more excited because it truly means the world to me, for me to be able to help so many people. Because oftentimes people said, before I started watching your videos or started listening to your tips, I was lost. And that is not lost on me, because I understand like what it felt like to be there, not know what to do, not know what to expect, or I have not passed the exam and not knowing where to reach out and navigate. And something that I've been thinking about is, would it be helpful if people that have passed send me videos about their experience to like upload, so that way you guys get direct interaction with that? So if that's something you guys are interested in, like, drop a comment down below, because there are a couple people that were like, yeah, I'm super interested in doing that, because I want to give credit where credit's due and actually put a name to the face to the name even. So that's an idea. And watch to the end of this video, because there's going to be something very special for people that have not passed this exam. You do not want to miss out on that. But let me get into this video, because here's some tips and things that I've been hearing that I want to share with you guys, because I think it's very important that we get down to it and actually talk about these issues. So let's get into it. And with that said, I'm going to convert the camera, and then I should be in the corner. And if you're interested, you can reach out to me for private tutoring. My email is berda24@gmail.com. My schedule is booked out like a week and a half, 2 weeks, because I'm taking a couple weekends off, so it's a little backed up than normal. But don't let that make you be afraid to reach out, because I'm a very personable person and tend to try to work as much as I can with you guys. And if you're interested in the study groups, the next ones are 519 research, program development, program evaluation, 526 group and family treatment, and those go from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays. But let's be real, the study groups typically go 3 hours, because I just don't know when to stop, as well as there's a question and answer piece that people could get to directly talk to me afterwards and process about their experiences, as well as just get practical tips. Like, I'm giving nuggets away all the time during those questions and answers, and that's my point, because if you guys are willing to invest in me, I'm definitely willing to invest as much as I possibly can. So make sure to ask those questions. But yes, and like I said, wait until the end of the video, because there's going to be something special. But the first thing that I'm starting to see is not a lot of people are actually willing to invest in themselves. So the first tip is, if you are going to invest in something, make it yourself. So a lot of times I'm working with people, interacting with people, and a lot of people say, Phil, I don't know what to do. I'm used to giving away everything that I possibly can to people. We're social workers, right? Like, we helping people at every capacity. But if we don't have something that's filling in us or making us feel better or like giving us energy, we're going to be tapped out, not able to study, not able to give our best efforts forth. And again, I started the video off by saying, like, I took a break. Like, you guys didn't hear from me, you guys didn't see it unless you were in my study groups and stuff. But that's relevant because I needed to give myself a break and energy and fill myself back up so I could give enough energy to you guys. So I often recommend the same. If you're going to invest in yourself, a lot of people will say, I was afraid to reach out to this person, or I was afraid to tap into this resource, but I expounded money on this other thing over here, and it wasn't as helpful. I just was too afraid to ask for this assistance. Don't be afraid. If you were willing to ask for assistance or invest in other people, you best be willing to invest in yourself, because you are the only thing that you entirely have when you're in this exam and when you're doing things. Because if you're not in the best possible shape, or not willing to put energy forth or focus towards what your needs are, you are not going to be in the best shape to perform in the way that you need to do what you want to do. So if you're going to make any investment, you best make it in yourself, whether that's doing something nice for yourself, whether that's taking a break when you need to, whether that's being kind to yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to be in your corner when things don't go well, people typically aren't going to be in your corner with you, unless you have people rocking with you that are out for you and not what they can get from you. So always, 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 always be willing to take that extra time and assess the situation for yourself and say, am I getting what I need right now? And if not, let's stop, take a pause, peel back the layers that I don't need, and let's give something to myself. Like, trust me, I don't do a whole lot of things for myself, but when it is time for me to do something for myself, it's like, yup, lazy day. Like, because I know if I don't do that, I could definitely get burnt out, and that's not what my goal is. My goal is to be able to maximize and promote people at the best possible level for as long as I possibly can. But if the candle's getting burnt at both ends, the candle's gone. Candle being myself, as well as you guys as self. So always be willing to invest in yourself, whether that's monetary, whether that's physical, whether that's just mental capacity, as well as another thing that I'm hearing is, this is what they say. This person said this. This person did this. This person has done that. Do not let other people change something that they did not start. And this happens way too many times. I'll interact with people and they'll get a question wrong and say, well, they said this. They do not matter. They are not you. Their experience isn't yours. So you need to tailor this bad boy back to what you need. It's not what they need. It's not what they did. It's not what that person did. It's not what that person did, because they're not you. You have a different style. You have different needs, and you have a different perspective on things. So you need to tailor that to you. Not what this person said, not what this particular scenario over here said, but what you need, what you say, what you think. Because then once you start viewing your situation from your lens, you start trusting yourself more, and then you start performing better. Because oftentimes it's like, well, this person said this, but they weren't there to start it, so their opinion shouldn't matter. They haven't been rocking with you long enough for them to walk in and critique you and change you, because you don't trust them. But at the end of the day, you may think, why did that person say that? And then you start trusting their opinion over your opinion, and then it just completely destroys where you started. Like, I worked with somebody who recently passed, and they were like, this is what this person was saying about me. This was the energy of this person. But they weren't there when it started. So we had to get that person back to where they started and telling themselves positive things and remembering this influence doesn't matter because that person wasn't there, or this person doesn't know my entire experience, or this person doesn't know my learning style or my past exam attempts. You need to focus in what your needs are and what you particularly need out of the situation. Because if the person wasn't there from the beginning, their opinion is what they can actually get out of the situation, or they'll just throw their situation onto yours and try to make you tailor it to that particular experience. And if you don't get the same result as them, you are going to self-deprecate yourself and say, I didn't do what I was supposed to do, which isn't true. You were just doing what they kind of like prescribed, but that's not what your route or your level of getting through into that. So if they weren't there when it started, they shouldn't be there being able to give you an opinion from where you're at now, unless you truly trust them and they're trying to take you somewhere where you haven't been, and they're trying to get something with you rather than trying to get something from you. Because that's a key thing, is not everyone's going to be rocking with your benefit in every situation. So if they weren't there when it started, do not let them be there now if they're trying to take something from it. And then third is you have to realize that you do not have control over the exam. So embrace it. So a lot of people are saying, man, I tried doing this during the exam and it didn't work out, or this didn't work out how I thought it would. Let it go. I know a lot of us like having control in our situations, but we can't do it. Like, we can't walk in the exam and tell the exam what is going to be on it, or what it's going to look like, or how it's going to format, or what score we're going to get. We can't do that. So we have to focus on the controllables here. A lot of us love control, and we've tried controlling things in a lot of in our lives, but this exam likes to exploit things that we try hiding, aka things we can't control. But that's not where this exam is. So the faster you get that into your mind of like, wow, I can't control these things about the exam, you dial back and start getting more comfortable and more confident in yourself about the things that you actually can control. Because a lot of times I interact with people and they're like, Phil, this is exactly what I'm gonna do when I walk into the exam, or this is what I thought was gonna happen during the exam. It didn't happen, and now I'm over it because I can't handle it, or this really exploited me, or this one area on the exam destroyed me, so I need to focus all the energy into that area, which is untrue. This exam is broken into 4 areas. Unless you got 100% in that area, don't hyper focus on one area. Be an eclectic social worker and get acquainted to all of the areas. And oftentimes it's not content areas, it's being able to navigate the content, utilize it in the best possible way that you know how, and then walk in there more confident and give it your best shot. You can't control things, but that's where those have been rocking with me. No, I always suggest a routine, because when you know what to expect, you tend to have a little more control over your exam experience. Because if you don't have a plan or don't know what to anticipate, more anxiety thoughts. Because the negative energy that we manifest in our minds typically comes true unless challenged, or if we actually want to view the situation from a different lens. A lot of times we like to view a situation one way because it works for us and makes us feel comfortable. But that one way may not be the truth, and that's going back. We need to surround ourselves and be willing to invest in ourselves, or have people willing to invest in us and call us out and say, hey, you're viewing the situation a little wonky. How about you view it from this way, because this is actual factual data, not my experience. Here's factual ways and why this is a better way of doing things. So I always suggest rocking with people that are trying to invest in you, promote you, flex you up, to propel you to an area that you've never been before, rather than them trying to get something from you that they can benefit from. So realize you don't have the control, but you can try to control the things that you can control, because that is how life goes. We can't control everything, but there's areas that we can control, and use your structured mind to your benefit. So my style is very structured in the way that we break down the questions, the way that we analyze the questions, the way that we apply some acronyms and stuff like that. So knowing that you're not going to be able to control, meaning you're going to be able to get questions wrong and still pass. You're going to be able to walk into the exam and it's not going to be the exact experience that you thought, but it's still going to work out. Control the things that you can control, and you'll be able to control your experience based on the inputs that you put into it, rather than trying to control the result, because the results are relevant. The inputs are the things that we can control. So realizing that we're not able to control everything can definitely take a weight off of someone. Like, this isn't a collegiate level exam where perfection is what we want. There's no 4.0. This is a pass fail. Score is kind of cool to be like, oh, like I passed by this much, but no one's going to ever ask you, so what was your score? People have never asked me until I say this statement, Phil, what was your score? And depending on the score that you got, you may be able to help me, or you may not be able to help me. Most people come to me and say, Phil, I like your message. I like the energy you're giving. Can you help me? They've never asked me my score. They never asked me how long it took me to pass the exam. They never asked me how long it took me within the exam, or how many attempts it took me. So don't put this excess pressure on yourself if you're not willing to put that excess pressure onto somebody else. And if you are, why are you putting that excess pressure onto small details to separate everybody, rather than to bring us together, which is a social profession? We're social workers, not isolated workers. So thus your prep needs to be a social interaction, but with the right people. And not everyone's personality and learning styles are going to work for everybody. So focus, hone in, invest in yourself, and take feedback from the people that are there with you and that have started with you, or have the energy that you want to start with, and knowing that the control is entirely out of your hands. Which then goes in hand with the fourth little suggestion of let go. And this is going to include past experiences, let's divide them up. Past attempts and past thoughts. So I'll allude to all of these. So past experiences, a lot of times we like to let the past dictate what our future is going to be. I've walked into the exam, I failed X amount of times, so this is what I have to expect, and I have that burden on myself of, this is the fourth time, this is the third time, this is the fifth time, this is the sixth time, this is the 12th time that I'm walking in here, and carrying that baggage. So if you picture a backpack, and we have, let's say, a 5-pound weight for every attempt that you've done, over time, that 5-pound weight, depending on how long you're carrying it, is going to hurt. So if you're taking this for 90 days and carrying each attempt that you've done, it's going to wear you down, and your mental capacity is going to be limited based on the past experience. So let it go. Like, mourn it and be like, man, this really sucked. This isn't what I thought it was going to be, but here's the energy I put in. Here's the positives that I can get from it. How can I build from this? And let's take that positive energy into it, rather than here's all the negatives. Here's the deficits that I had. Here's the areas that I didn't do well in. So let me expound all the energy on that, rather than sharpening our tool in the areas that we were positive in, or the positive experiences within our past experiences. Because not every negative experience is entirely all negative. There's positives within that experience that we can build on, take, shave, and make them work for you rather than against you, because a lot of times people take their failed exam attempts as negatives. I always say it's a positive, because one, you have more experience than people that have never taken the exam, and those people that have never taken the exam are wishing that they had the experience that you did of actually going in there and knowing what to expect a little bit. And also, I said that you've seen actual ASWB questions. Like, no one, like, you're out there cashing out practice tests that aren't actually linked to the real exam, but you aren't willing to reflect and say, wow, I've actually touched 170 plus questions of actual questions, and I know the dynamics and what they look like and how I navigated them, and I got the majority right. So build on that past experience, but you have to let it go, because if you let the negative energy flow through you, you're going to have a negative result, or can promote and increase the likelihood of having a negative result in the future. So the more positive energy you have flowing, the more likelihood you're going to have a positive experience. So linking the past experiences, you have to let go, like, because a lot of people will say, is it the more times I take this test, does it get harder? Or which version am I going to get? Because I've heard there's only 4 versions circulating around. Or should I not go to that same location because that location I've failed at X amount of times? So a lot of people like to use magical thinking to justify reasons for running away from a location that they've not done well, or an experience they haven't done well. So focusing in on the positives and saying, wow, that experience that I had before really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. But that doesn't mean my future is going to be that way as well. So I need to believe in myself and achieve myself where I want to go. Same thing with past attempts. Most people think that their past attempts are death sentences. Like, this is my 4th time going in. I'm less intelligent than those people that passed on the first time, which is not entirely true at all, ever. Passing in it the first time and passing it the 4th time are the same thing, because, wow, your credential says the same thing. We don't need to tie on and put negative stigma or scrutiny on ourselves for something that's totally self-imposed. Like, no one is going to say on your credential LCSW 4 because it took you 4 attempts. Nope, LCSW. So don't put that negative pressure on yourself, and know that past attempts are just an experience, because each exam is different. So you have to consider it to be your first exam attempt every time. Why? Because it's not the same exam. Now, if it was the same exam with same questions, same setup, and then you failed it multiple times, then that would be your 4th attempt. But it's your first attempt at this exact exam. So we can't put negative pressure, negative energy on ourselves. Why? Because those negative energies will promote negative experiences, which triggers negative results in the future, because we're not thinking in the present, and we're not promoting ourselves to be the best possible selves, and we're not investing in ourselves. And then the negative thoughts that we have about ourselves are always going to be triggered in the past thoughts. So when we have negative experiences, we tend to think negatively about the situation and or ourselves, or both. So if I do something that I'm not proud of, such as failing this exam, my thoughts about myself are probably not going to be positive, like, woo, you killed it, Phillip. Man, you're so great. You did this really great thing over here. Wow, you actually showed up to the exam, because that's something that most people don't do. Like, you have to give yourself credit for actually showing up, because there are people that pay for the exam, don't show up, and they actually let that lapse and just run away from it for years. So knowing that your experience in your eyes may be a negative, but it may be a situation that people are begging for and wishing that they were actually in. So be careful what you wish for, and count your blessings and be blessed, because every single person watching this is blessed in some way that someone else wishes that they could be able to be in. So don't let negative thoughts produce negative results within for you. So let it go. And it may not be a fast thing of like this, but you connect with the right people, and things tend to click and tend to improve at increased rates of time, rather than just letting things go through the motions, feeling isolated, being afraid to reach out to people. Because if you think about it, social workers tend to want to be more social and help other people. So these aren't people that are going to be gunning for your head, and if they are, just cut them out. Cut them out. Like, if someone's not promoting and trying to take you to the next level or improve you in some type of way, just cut them out. Like, you have no obligation to anybody to let you drag them down to a road that's not going to be important for you or with you. Like, if something's not contributing to you or like promoting you, then what's the point of having it around in this day and age? Like, there's way too much positive energy within this profession and within this society that we need to tag onto those people and let them take us to the next level. So again, have that counsel to like help combat those negative thoughts. Say you're having a bad experience or bad day, reach out to people that you know are going to build you up, and that if they had a bad day and came to you, they're going to do the same for you. It's a mutual relationship rather than just one-sided where one person's benefiting all of the time and knowing the other person's not benefiting at all. So again, do not let negative past experiences, negative past attempts, and negative past thoughts take away from you investing in yourself and contributing to your experience in a positive way, which leads to my fifth suggestion, which is to trust yourself and take care of yourself. Because if you are not trusting yourself, you are not going to be able to pass this exam. Because the more you trust yourself and the more you build your confidence up and the more you trust in your abilities to do something, the better off you're going to be. And that is a huge thing that I interact with a lot of people on about passing their exam. Almost every single person that I read off that I interacted with directly, that is a key thing that we always work on. The majority of people that I work with one-on-one, it's building past that barrier where they second guess themselves, don't believe that they can actually do it, and are letting negative energy and negative experiences direct them into a place that they aren't actually wanting to be in, but they aren't willing to stand up for themselves and call it out and say like, wow, I've kind of lost control and gotten away from believing that I can actually do this thing or believing that I can actually answer this thing correctly. So focus on you are the most powerful thing that you can ever interact with and that you're capable of doing this. And your previous experiences don't have to be your future if you don't want them to. So take this exam, ride it away from the negativity and put it into the positive result, because you can and are able to do this as long as you're willing to do the hard stuff of believing in yourself and knowing that you can do this. And it can be very, very tough. I don't mean to invalidate and say this is very, very easy, because it's not. Because I still struggle with this every single day of, am I doing the right things? Am I putting in the right stuff? Am I suggesting the right things? But at the end of the day, you have to push yourself and say, I believe in myself enough to be able to do this, that even my worst attempt is going to be the best thing that could possibly happen in that situation. Because if I don't do it, the result is always going to be negative or nothing. But if I do it, stumble, fall, I can build on that and then come back stronger next time. So failure is actually the positive route of getting to passing. So like being able to consistently stumble, but being able to stand up multiple times is going to create that resilience, resistance, and power to strive forward. But if you think negatively about yourself, don't trust yourself, aren't taking care of yourself, running down, doing a ton of things to take care of everyone else, getting pulled away by your job, doing all of these things you don't entirely like doing, and then you burn out, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, I have to walk into the exam because that's what's expected of me. Don't do what's expected of you. Do what you expect out of yourself and make sure you're giving the best version, because if not, it's not going to represent who you actually are. And if you're not doing so, then you're not staying true to you and what you're capable of or the people that you care about. Because at the end of the day, we often tell ourselves, oh my gosh, the people that I care about are going to think this negative thing about me if I don't do this positive thing. And at the end of the day, if you walk up to people that you care about and say, if I don't do this correctly the first time, what is your view on it? And most people are going to say, I'm so proud of you for actually trying and doing this, because most people don't do it anyway. So don't let anxiety and negativity lie to you and tell you that the people that care about you are going to think negatively or less about you for doing something, such as failing this exam. Because most times, showing up and giving our best effort is all people ask for, rather than being perfect, striving up. Don't get caught away, because this is the day and age of don't mistake being productive for productivity. And that could be a suggestion in and of itself is do not mistake being productive for productivity. Because this is the day and age where if you're not doing 100 things at one time, you think you're less than because this person over here is doing a bunch of things. But the person that's being productive and getting things done in the best possible way they can is going to get ahead further than the person that's just putting in the quantity. So that's a huge thing that I always hear from people is, Phil, I studied for 90 days, 2 hours each day, which would be 180 hours. And I ask them, what did you get out of those 180 hours? And they say, I have no clue. I don't remember any of it. And I actually feel burnt out and like I can't do this. And then let's say I have another person that does 90 days. They do 30 minutes every single day. And they base it on what style works for them, what they can handle, and what they feel is capable in their situation. Because a lot of people have a lot of things going on. That person that studied for 90 days for 30 minutes could be way farther ahead than the person that studied for 2 hours for 90 days. Why? Because the person that did 30 minutes for the 90 days is more productive than the person that's put in productivity, which is a quantity, which is what the world wants us to do is, wow, I put in 120 hours this week. Okay, how do you feel mentally? Oh, that's not important. I did 120 hours. I'm tired. Okay, how are you going to recover? Or what did you actually get out of it? Is it something you want to get out of it? Or are you just doing something that's not maintainable for you and over time it's going to end up having you regress further than you progressing? So focus on what works for you and stay within it, and don't mistake being a productivity monster. Focus on being productive in what works for you, what learning style you do, what experience you do, what information you hear, so that way we're getting the best version of you. So if you get anything out of this, invest in yourself, focus on your needs and not other people's needs. Realize you need to have a team within this that are supporting you, trusting you, and that you trust. Let go of any negativity in your life, whether it's people, thoughts, experiences, past attempts. Trust yourself to be able to do something further than you think so at this given moment, because you are all so much more powerful than you guys give yourself credit for. Number 6, make sure you're being productive while doing stuff rather than just having the wildness of being like, oh my God, I got to do 100 things. But if you do one thing compared to someone's 100, your one thing may get you further than doing the 100 things. And then that is the end of the video. So comment any feedback that you have. Hit the thumbs up button down below, because if I hit, let's say, 100 likes, I'll do a free study group, which will probably be not this Saturday, but the next Saturday after that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because and then when you hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell, because it'll send you an email every time I upload a video. And it'll also give you the access to the free study group, because you'll get the email that says, hey, he uploaded the link. And then the surprise that I have for you guys, I'm opening up my private pilot study group again. And those that have been rocking with me for a minute know that I did a pilot prep course a while back, and people have been asking me to reopen this. So I thought about it, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to reopen that, and I'm going to only have a select number of people. Like last time I did 10 people. The people that were in there said it was a really great experience to get direct interactions with me, learn from me, get feedback, be able to speak on the things that are going on. And if you're interested in that, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com for details. And again, slap that thumbs up button, which is the little thumb at the bottom. And again, if you're interested in tutoring, send me an email at berda24@gmail.com. And if you're interested in the study groups, it's 519 Research, Program Development, and Program Evaluation, 526 group and family treatment. And a tradition that I started last time, well, 2 times ago, was providing a quote. So the quote that I'll share today is, "Fear is not real. It is a product of thoughts you create. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is real, but fear is a choice." And that is by Will Smith. And my goal for you this week is to do one nice thing for yourself, so that way we know you're in the best version and best mental capacity that you can possibly be. Thank you guys so much for being able to let me do this. It's my pleasure. It's a privilege to be able to do this. Take care, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.